Welcome to another episode of the Stogie Review video review, and I am Walt from StogieReview.com. And as promised, this week I have the Gurkha Extra Fuerte cigar to review, and this thing it's a monster. This could double as a billy club or something. It's just it's so much bigger than I'm used to, and it's not in the new Perlman's Pocket Cyclopedia, so I have the Cigars International catalog for the particulars. It's on the back page. And this is the Torpedo Grande size, which is a 54 by 7. They come in Mesos of 12 for $90. I'm sure you can get them lower than that from Cigar Bib. And just reading over this description a little bit, it's saying that it's one of the rarest Gurkhas available. They only make 50,000 cigars. They're made with a vintage Costa Rican Maduro wrapper leaf. And it's aged since 1996. Filler blend is composed of Cuban seed, Nicaraguan, and Honduran long fillers. That's about it. They just go into telling you what it should taste like, but I'm not really interested in what Cigars International says it should taste like, because I'll formulate my own opinion on that. So anyway, that's the particulars. It's the Gurkha Extra Fuerte. Big cigar. Anyway, just to do a little inspection, pre-light, we have a rather large cigar, and it feels firm and packed from the tip of this torpedo cap all the way down to the foot. You know, it just feels like a very well-packed cigar. No lumpy spots, no soft spots. It's got a very big band on it, which is kind of typical of Gurkhas. They're big and colorful, and you know, they look nice. And both of which are actually loose, so that's always a big plus, especially when you have a band this size. You know, if that band is glued on or stuck to the wrapper, and it's this big overall, it can cause nightmares when you try to get it off, just because of the damage it can do because of how much surface area it covers on that leaf. And just looking over it, it's got, you know, the veins are relatively small. It's got a toothy appearance to it, and what I mean by that, it's just got speckles of oils throughout. That's kind of common. A lot of times I'll point that out on Cameroons. It's a little easier to see because it's such a much lighter leaf with darker speckles. But you know, they're easy to make out on this particular wrapper. So just thought I'd bring that up. Cap looks like it's constructed well. You know, everything looks good so far. You know, I don't see anything that appears to be a problem with the cigar. You know, it doesn't have much of an aroma to it. It's I don't know. It just smells kind of neutral. At least the foot does, anyway. Yeah, and even the wrapper's got a really mild smell to it. Well, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and move along and start cutting and lighting. Because it's a torpedo shape, I'm going to go ahead and use a guillotine style cutter. I was just looking to make sure I had my lighter handy. Didn't want to clip it and then move on. And you know, we get a lot of questions on where exactly do you cut the torpedo? Because a lot of people will lay the cutter flat on a table and just put their cigar in there, and close it, and the table becomes the stop for the cut. With a torpedo, you're just going to kind of knock the little nipple off the end of it, and you're not actually going to do anything. I'm going to cut, 3/16 to 1/4 of an inch off inside this torpedo, or this tapered shape, and I'm going to test the draw and see how it goes. If it's too tight, well, I'm going to clip it a little further. That's the beautiful thing about a torpedo. You can just keep on you can keep working your way back, and you can get pretty far into the cigar before you have to worry about it unraveling. So I'm going to go ahead and take that 1/4 inch off and check the draw. And it's a little firm, but I don't think it warrants me cutting any more off. I think it'll be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get this lighted, or lit. Yeah, get this lighted. I'm going to go ahead and get this lit, and we'll go from there. And as always, just want to, take your time when you're torching. When you got a cigar this size, you got a lot of area to begin to burn. So just remember to take your time. Don't get impatient and really jam the lighter in there. I know it may appear as though I'm getting very close with the lighter, but in all actuality, I'm really not. Because the flame is just not that large, and I know it looks like I'm right on top of it when I look back over what I've got on camera, so don't get the wrong impression that I'm really on top of it. Just bring the lighter in until you start to see smoke form, and then stop. You don't need to be right on top of it. Well, it's taken a while to get this lit, but I think I'm about there. And I'm about satisfied there. Oh, the first couple puffs there when I'm trying to get it lit, it's not quite extra fuerte, but it's pretty high up there on the body. As far as the body's concerned, it's medium to full right on the first puff, and it's a little dry. But I'm always I don't really concern myself with that first puff, just because a lot can happen in that exposed area of tobacco that makes up the foot. So I'm just gonna sit back a little bit, get into the cigar a little bit more, and then I'll be back to get started with this review. So see you in a few minutes. Welcome back. I'm about an inch into the cigar, and I don't know, the best way to describe this cigar so far is slow starter. Right after that first puff that I took, that I really wasn't all that fond of, that it was sort of dry and a little strong. Ever since then, it really hasn't. It's completely dropped off. It's medium body at best. It's got very mild Maduro-like flavors. It's got a very, very mild coffee flavor, with the only dominant flavor at this point being a little bit of pepper. Outside of that, it just tastes like a rich tobacco taste. There's nothing really jumping out at me so far. It's fairly early in the day. It's about 2 o'clock. I was going to smoke this later on, but I've got some things to do later on, so just trying to get this cigar, which may take me 3 to 4 hours to smoke, get it done earlier on the day, just because I didn't have time to do it tonight. I'm also drinking it with water. I brushed my teeth about 30 minutes before I started up the camera, so I'm really fresh at this point, and for a Super Fuerte, it's a really slow starter at this point. So just going to keep an eye out, or keep my palate out, I guess, since this is a cigar review, and just try to key in on any changes. The draw is not bad. It's not so firm anymore. The volume of smoke is decent. It's not quite thick though, and it's really tough to describe. You get a fair amount of smoke, but it doesn't feel thick when it gets pulled into your mouth. It feels thin and airy, and not like just dense and creamy. So that's a little unusual, but it's not too bad. Finish is, it's smooth, and it's short. So at this point, the Super Fuerte, or I keep saying Super Fuerte, the Extra Fuerte name on the cigar really isn't living up to it at this point. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it progresses, and I'm sure it'll end up, picking up eventually. But right now it's just a very slow starter, and it's not bad. It's a nice slow start, and it's, if it stays slow and gradual, then I think it'll make for a very good cigar. So we'll just hope that it's not very abrupt, and it's not like flipping a switch and then all of a sudden it's just really, really strong. So anyway, I'll be back in a bit. I'm going to smoke some more. Oh, also, by the way, this cigar is my only Gurkha Extra Fuerte. So this review I'm doing with water, with a glass of water, and I'm taking notes, trying to pay attention to everything. I don't usually like doing a review on one cigar, but this cigar was a gift from Tim from Club Stogie, and this came in a package with several other cigars that was just completely out of the blue. So thanks, Tim, really appreciate it, and hopefully you enjoy the review. So anyway, I'm gonna get back to smoking, and be back in a little bit, and we'll see how things are going. Welcome back once again, and I'm still plugging away at my Gurkha Extra Fuerte, and well, I guess I got about 5 inches left, and to be completely honest with you, I'm not really liking it too much. That mild progression, or that slow mild progression that I was hoping for, didn't turn out that way. All of a sudden it just kind of went off, and flavors are like strong, dark, black coffee with a lingering pepper flavor. That the pepper flavor is what I'm not enjoying. It's really irritating the back of my throat. It's just lingering. After every puff, it lingers for a few minutes, and it's not the most pleasing of combinations, at least not for me anyway. Yep, after every puff. But let's talk about some of the other points of the cigar. The burn's doing real well. It's staying cool. It's a nice even burn. The resting smoke is it's about average. It's not burning too fast, not burning too slow. It's about average for a cigar of its particular size. And there's really not a whole lot to say about it in terms of anything really. I mean, everything's just pretty much average. The finish isn't long, it's not short, it's average. The volume of smoke, again, average. It still feels kind of airy and not real thick, but just the sheer volume is just average. It's got, it's got the black coffee flavors that are typical of a Maduro. There's no real complexities that I've picked up so far. That's about average at this point. Just kind of boring, and the pepper flavor's really just not doing it for me. So I'm gonna have to tough this one out, because there's no way I'm gonna leave that in the ashtray. That's too much cigar. So I'm gonna kick back, smoke some more, and hopefully, I'll have a little luck and things will change for the better. So I will be back in a bit. Welcome back, and still plugging along. I went ahead and took the bands off. They were giving me a false impression of how much cigar I had left. I kept looking at the cigar thinking, wow, I'm almost done. And then I kind of looked past the ratio of bands to cigar and realized that, wow, I've got 4 inches of cigar left. So I just went ahead and popped off the band. This way I can look at the cigar as a whole and not try to look too far ahead. Fortunately, that peppery flavor that I really didn't like has faded a little bit. That dark black coffee flavor, it's building up. It's more predominant now, and as I said, that peppery flavor has faded, and in its place, it's almost like a toasty flavor, which was actually pretty good. the finish is still about average. The draw is still decent. The volume of smoke is still good, but it's thin, and that's the major downside of it right now. You know the flavors are coming back around and it's enjoyable, but just that the thinness of the smoke is just not really doing it for me. I like thick, dense clouds of smoke, and I just kind of feel cheated a little bit, just because I'm getting a lot of smoke, but it's just so thin that it's just, I don't know. I don't like that, so we'll just leave it there. So, it's much better. The only downside is that it took me over an hour to get through that peppery flavor that I really wasn't enjoying, and that is just far too long. So, I don't know. It would be really tough for me to say whether or not I would smoke another one of these, just because I know that it's going to be an hour. It's going to be over an hour's worth of unenjoyable smoke that I have to work through to get to the better flavors that I'm getting now. So I don't know. This last portion of the cigar would have to finish really strong and be really good in order for me to sit through that kind of that sort of experience. Well, anyway, hate to rush through these segments like this, but tape's running short, and I want to come back one more time and to wrap things up. So I'll be back in a few. Welcome back to the final segment of the review for the Gurkha Extra Fuerte. And, well, at this point, I think I'm going to call it quits. The cigar's getting a little hot. The flavor is just too much, and just not enjoying it anymore. But let's talk about why I'm not enjoying it anymore. And the peppery flavor's back. That the toasty flavor that I was liking kind of faded and went away. And in its place, this peppery flavor just kind of spiked once again. And that's been how this cigar has been smoking. It just kind of goes in jolts. You'll be puffing on it and you'll be thinking, well, this is a nice medium body, and then bam, it's just medium to full, and then the next puff it's full, and it's just, there is no light progression through things. It's just all of a sudden you just get these sudden changes, and I'm really not a big fan of those type of changes anyway. So I just really don't care for it all that much. As far as the burning, the construction go, everything's been great. The draw is decent, volume of smoke is good. It's a little thin, but I can handle that. It's just the burn's nice and even. Overall, I think it's constructed very well. I just don't care for the flavor all that much, and I guess I'm at about 2.5 hours into the cigar right now, and if I were to smoke this down to where I would generally smoke it down to, it would be a 3 hour and 15-minute cigar for me. And it's just, I don't know, I need more, it's tough to describe, but I need more gradual changes for a cigar that's going to take that long, because I'm generally going to smoke it while I'm reading or doing some paperwork or something like that. I don't want to pick it up and then all of a sudden just get a mouthful of smoke that I don't enjoy. It's just, I don't know. It's just that's the type of situation I'm going to smoke the cigar in, and I really wouldn't care for that kind of flavor change, just erratic like that, when I really wasn't paying attention. So I don't know. If I would pass on this cigar again, if I'm at a cigar shop and I see, a shelf full of cigars, 9 times out of 10 I'm going to just overlook this cigar and not even consider picking it up, because for one, they're just too big. I like cigars that are much smaller than this because, for one, they fit in the time frame that I have, and two, they just seem to be a little more crisp. And I think that's because the whole wrapper to filler ratio is different, and I just enjoy the smaller cigars better. They're more comfortable in my hand. The smoke time is better, and the smallest this cigar comes in is a Toro size, which is a 52 by 6, and even that is a little big considering what I've been smoking lately, which is mostly Coronas. So the biggest downside is that it doesn't come in a size that I'm comfortable with. I don't really enjoy the flavor. Well, I did for a little bit until that peppery flavor kind of picked up again. But for the majority of the smoke, I just wasn't enjoying it. But anyway, I'm going to smoke it a little bit further, but that's going to wrap it up for this week. So overall, I think it's a decent cigar, but I don't like it. Just personally, I don't like the flavor, so I really wouldn't buy it again. But hey, you know, I'm sure there's people out there that just love this cigar. Gurkha has almost like a cult following behind it, just like Padron and Dom Pepin Garcia, you know, and all the other major cigar brands out there. There's just a cult following. Some people like them, some people don't. I'm not a real big Gurkha kind of guy. I don't know. I really haven't had one of their cigars that I just really liked outside of the Triple Ligero X3s. Yeah, I think they're a fantastic cigar, but that's really about it as far as this line is concerned. So, well, that about does it for me. Again, very well constructed cigar. Didn't care for the flavor, so I won't be purchasing any more in the near future. But I would recommend picking one up if you're a big Maduro smoker, and you know these big mammoth cigars are your cup of tea, so to speak. So anyway, you know, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Next week will be the La Flor Dominicana Double Ligero Chisel. Again, still looking forward to hearing some more comments on how exactly to cut that chisel shape. So you should go ahead and send me in emails and comments and give me a heads up before I go experimenting on that cigar. And following week, I'm going to do the Oliva Series G Cameroon Bellicoso. I was fortunate enough to find some at a local cigar shop who fortunately carries the whole Oliva brand, or the whole Oliva line. So I picked up quite a few of them, in addition to a great sampler that I got from Sam, who is an Oliva rep. So I'm really looking forward to getting into some of those. So those will be in the near future. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next week when we review the La Flor Dominicana Double Ligero Chisel.